Well, out of a total of 18 games so far across the opening 3 weeks of the A-League, I've only gotten 4 tips right. And that just goes to show how entertaining and crazy the A-League is at the moment. It is so hard to call, so let's jump into round 4 right now. We've got a Wednesday night clash this week in the A-League as Melbourne City take on Perth Glory. Melbourne City coming off the back of a 1-0 defeat to Western United, while for Perth Glory, they picked up an impressive 3-0 win against Melbourne Victory. Incredibly, the reigning champions Melbourne City haven't defeated Perth at home since 2016. And when you look at last season's meetings between these two sides, it was evenly balanced, 1 win for City, 1 win for Perth. A key battle in this game for me is going to be Scott Jamieson coming up against Anthony Burke-Gilroy. Burke-Gilroy for me, for Perth Glory, has been one of the stand-up players of the season so far. He's made it into 2 of my team of the weeks so far this season. Scott Jamieson, though, one of the most experienced fullbacks in the A-League, he'll certainly have his hands full though. Both sides heading into this round 4 clash with identical forms, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, but I think the reigning champions should be too strong at home in this game, 2-1, but I could be wrong, it could easily go either way. A fascinating clash up in the Hunter on Friday night as Newcastle Jets host Wellington Phoenix. Newcastle have looked impressive so far this season, but are yet to win a game, 2 draws and 1 loss. Of course, made that fantastic comeback against Sydney FC last week. Wellington Phoenix did lose to Wanderers last week, despite making a pretty solid start to the A-League season so far. A key battle in this game, it's more so 2 key players to keep an eye on. It's Valentino Yul. He's in fantastic form for the Newcastle Jets. Scored those 2 wonderful goals for them to rescue a point against Sydney FC. And Rennie Piscopo probably hasn't got firing just yet so far this season, but certainly has the potential to light up this game. I reckon the home advantage will just get the Jets over in this one. I'm going to go 1-0 to Newcastle. John Aloisi faces his former employers on Saturday afternoon as Western United host Brisbane Roar. Last season's meetings between these two sides were once again balanced, 1 win for each side. And the key matchup in this game for me is Dylan Wenzel-Halls coming up against his former side. Wenzel-Halls, 2 goals in his 2 last games for Western United. Questions raised over why Brisbane let him go in the first place. Looks like he's really settling in well at Western United under John Aloisi. Brisbane Roar desperate to get a win in this game. They find themselves bottom of the ladder after 1 draw and 2 losses. Western United have been really solid defensively so far. Leo Lacroix standout for them at the back so far this campaign. I think Western United should get ahead in this one 1-0. It's the game of the round on Saturday night, of course, the big rivalry, Adelaide United taking on Melbourne Victory. Now, the Reds have won the last 3 meetings between these two sides, but of course, it is a new-look Melbourne Victory heading into this game. Worth pointing out that both teams will be without key personnel in this game after Ryan Marchand for Victory and Yavi Lopez for Adelaide were both sent off last week in their own games. But the key battle in this game for me comes from 2 experienced A-League campaigners and the 2 captains, Josh Belante for Victory, Stefan Mork for Adelaide United. The 2 captains will have to step up big in this derby game. Adelaide United will be desperate for a win in this game. They've started off the season okay, 3 draws, while for Melbourne Victory, they have looked impressive despite slipping to Perth Glory last week. I think this will be a close one. I'm going to go 1-1. The other Saturday night game sees Western Sydney Wanderers take on MACARTHUR FC. Wanderers coming off the back of their first win of the season, while MACARTHUR currently sit top of the table with 2 wins and 1 draw. Last season between these two sides, MACARTHUR won at Parramatta, while the other game ended in a 2-2 draw. And the key battle for me is going to be Tom Ahmed coming up against Tommy Uscock. 2 tall, strong players. It's going to be a really interesting battle up the top for Western Sydney Wanderers. And I don't often predict this scoreline. I haven't predicted it so far in the A-League this season, but I'm going to go for a 0-all scoreline. I think both sides have looked really solid defensively so far this season. MACARTHUR playing with those 3 central defenders, and for Wanderers, Johnny Katrumbis and Reece Williams looking really solid at the back. And I cannot wait for Sunday evening as the Central Coast Mariners finally return home to Central Coast Stadium to take on Sydney FC. Last season's meetings between these two sides, Mariners did win away from home, and the other game at Central Coast ended in a draw. One concerning stat heading into this game from Mariners' point of view is that they haven't won against Sydney FC at home since 2017. And both sides will be hungry for the win in this game for varying reasons. Central Coast Mariners' first game at home will want to be getting off to a good start at their home stadium and are coming off the back of 2 consecutive losses in the A-League, while for Sydney FC, yet to get 3 points in the campaign so far, 2 draws and 1 loss. But the key battle for me in this game is going to be Kai Rolls coming up against Adam Lafondra. Rolls has been really consistent so far. He started every game across all competitions. Lafondra coming off the back of scoring a goal and assisting one for Sydney FC last week. I'm hoping that the home advantage just gets the Mariners across in this one. I'm going to go 1-0 to the Central Coast. As always, feel free to drop your score predictions down in the comments below and join me on Saturday night here live on YouTube. We'll be doing a watch along for Adelaide United and Melbourne Victory. I've been Lockie here from Coast Watch Football. Enjoy the rest of your week and I'll see you in the next one.